Hey everybody, welcome back. This is EonShiKeno with some more StarCraft 2 commentaries. It has been, I think, about a week since my last set of commentaries. This is once again from DreamHack Winter 2013. Let's go ahead and introduce our two players. Top left corner of the map, our purple Protoss player, Patience, from Azubu, if I recall correctly. And his opponent, the bottom right corner of the map, from Quantic, or formerly Quantic at this point. I'm not really sure. It's going to be Hyun, the Red Zerg player. We're on this gigantic map, Whirlwind. Largely a Zerg favored map. So we'll see how this goes down, ZvP. So we've had a little bit of news in the StarCraft scene since my last commentary. We've had patch that just came out, which changed a couple things. Most notably, I think, was the arcade is now free. You can play any custom map, any map in the arcade for free, which is really cool. So if you have friends who don't know this, who don't play StarCraft, it's just cool because if they've played Tower Defense, if they've played Plants vs. Zombies, if they've played any of these hundreds of game types that have been cloned off of, you know, these arcade maps that were created in Warcraft 3 and StarCraft, Brood War, there's like a whole industry of games just copying these arcade games that were created in Warcraft 3 and Brood War. So if you have any friends who've played any of those games, tell them to download StarCraft Starter Edition. They can play all these crazy type of arcade maps for free with people, and it's awesome. So my little pitch to get out of the way there, because I think the arcade is really cool. And it's cool that finally Blizzard is giving it away for free. Something I think they should have done from the get-go, but what are you going to do? So we had the patch that just came out, and what do we got going here? Hatch first, obviously, and you know, quick double hatch on this map is not too scary here coming out of Hyun, so makes good sense from him. And Patience going with it looks like a double gas already, cybernetics core. I like his Sim City here. Got a nice wall off going here in the back. Stop circling run bys, kind of force him here in the front area. Gateway up here in the front. Wonder what he's going to put right here. It's probably another gateway, I would imagine. But good Sim City so far. So the second big news item we had is, at least today, we have the ESL Cup World Finals announced that the final, I think is the finals. I think that's correct. It's going to be a winner-take-all $100,000 prize pool, which is a pretty large prize pool for a single StarCraft 2 tournament, and it's going to be winner-take-all. So first place gets everything, second place sucks it. Of course, there's a lot of people discussing, well, maybe the players will agree to split it, 60-40. But I don't know. I mean, to do that, it really depends on the players. If you're one of the two players in the finals and you can beat your opponent, why would you make that agreement? You'd just be, I don't know. The two players would either have to be friends or they would have to be like really on equal skill level. But I really loved it. MC tweeted today. MC tweeted in response to this news is $100,000 for first place. He said, like, easy peasy, now I can buy an Audi R8. I thought that was like a great mentality to go into this. Just, let's do it. This is the way it is. Let's see what happens. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. But definitely a lot of players are obviously not happy about it. There's definitely a lot of European players who want to head over there. They don't expect to get first, so they want to win some money for going over there for their time, and they want to win a couple $100, a couple $1,000. But in this, it won't be the case. But nevertheless, all the players do have their hotels and flights paid for, so they won't be losing money. They'll just have a really good opportunity to go there and practice versus top players. And this may even bring some players who weren't planning on going to show up, and I don't know. It could increase the turnout of high caliber players to their other tournaments to get these invites, which I think is how it's actually working out. But anyways, fun developments in StarCraft 2 world. Wall off going here for Patience up at the front of his base, set up some gateways, mining, both players just macroing it up. But we got a Phoenix is coming out, one already out, heading here, going down the bottom of the map. Looks like is he heading to clear out some overlords? He's trying to be sneaky. I think he's just looking for overlords at this point. He's going to fly right into one and take this guy out. And the other one this is actually a hallucination. You don't see this too often. You don't see too often someone make a hallucination during the exact same time they make actual Phoenixes. And that just, goes to show you how freaking big this map is, that Someone, oh, scratch that. We got Zerglings in here, and we'll see if these guys can accomplish too much. Now, he used that Nexus Cannon on the natural, thinking that he was going to land the force field on that ramp, but unfortunately, Patience miscalculated that force field, and this really isn't working out the best way. You know, optimally, he would have landed that force field. That Nexus Cannon would have killed all those Zerglings, and he wouldn't have had to deal with this. But either way, I don't think he's actually killed maybe one probe, I think. But this last Zergling is getting some scouting in. Of course, he knows about the Phoenix, but more Phoenixes grouping up here. But yeah, like I was saying, is you almost never see someone building Phoenixes and make a hallucination for Phoenixes. And the reason he's doing that is just because this map is so freaking gigantic. This map is so big that Phoenixes aren't fast enough to both kill Overlords around the map and scout his opponent's base, even though he's continually making Phoenixes. And he made them pretty fast from the get-go. So Patience ramping up here with his gateways and making the Phoenixes looking like we're going to have a push out coming pretty soon. We're going to see if he can get a pylon up. There's a decent amount of Overlord coverage kind of on the edges of the map here. Phoenixes doing a little bit of damage, picking off a couple drones. I think they managed to get 5 of them so far. Spore Crawlers going up 2 at each base, so those guys are going to be running out of effectiveness. We've got 2 at, I think, every single base at this point, so yeah, not much more he can do with this. He can kind of maybe pick off a random queen standing around, or, you know, that's pretty much it. Maybe pick off some Overlords. And here's the pro pushing forward, but he actually gets scouted up by the two Zerglings. One of 2 Zerglings, he actually gets caught. Okay, more show up, but that's really unfortunate for Patience. He's going to have to use this as a waypoint. More gateways are just about done. Warp gates are going to be transforming here in just a second. He's got the +1 coming out, probably going to start chroning boosting that. He's got an Immortal coming out, and this just really sucks for Patience because he's going to lose his Zealot here, I would imagine. Yeah, the Zealot's going to go down, but he has showed his hand a little bit here. He's shown that he wanted to show a forward pylon. He's got this backup pylon. So at this point, it kind of makes sense that, you know, we're going to see Hyun start to ramp up his production and really not make any more drones from this point on. He kind of wants to stay alive. He's got a Hydralisk Din coming up, which is going to work out pretty well. He's got a lot of Roaches coming out, but we already see Patience moving out across the map. Army count, let's see what we're at, 46 versus 41, so Patience with a slight lead, but of course we've got all these massive amount of gateways coming in. He's got 5 here, 2 down here at the front, +1 is just about done. He's chrono boosting that out. Now he's pushing out across the map. A couple Roaches out. We got one single Spore Crawler moving in there at the forward, but there's not that many units here for Hyun. He's actually going to lose position on this. And if he loses these Roaches before the rest of these forces come out here, he's actually already forced to pull drones, which I think at this point is kind of like his one option here. Is a fight or flight situation. He's forced a lot of force fields down here, but he has so many sentries at this point that those number of force fields isn't going to be that big of a deal. And Patience is right here. He's going to take this 3rd base down, but luckily enough for Hyun, he's got another base in the bottom, middle part of the map. 3 Roaches getting picked off, which is actually a pretty big deal at this point. Mothership Core needs to stay alive. He doesn't want to lose to one, random Spore Crawler. Not even managing to take out that base, just going to go ahead and skip it. Going to completely dodge that base. Just go for if he can land force fields here, trap off the Roaches. Nice play there. Oh my god, great force fields here from Patience. Exactly what he needed to do there. Hyun was trying to stay on the low ground to get, hold that position, but he pulled back too late, and he paid the price loss. I think 6 Roaches there. There are a lot of Roaches there up on the high ground, but another couple force fields go down. But he does have Burrow, which isn't really that big of a deal because we do have an Observer out. And, we just have Patience pushing his way forward here. But Hyun does have a lot of forces. He only has 1 Immortal. He's got the Warp Prism there, so he doesn't really have to worry about 4 pylons. At this point, he's kind of just slowly picking off Roaches. And Hyun really needs Hydras at this point, but he only's got 3 of them coming out, and these Roaches aren't going to do that much. He's got, these drones are getting completely trapped by those force fields. The 1 Immortal finally does go down, but we do have to remember we still have plenty of Stalkers up here. It's hard to say if he maybe... I think he actually did. No, he didn't lose the Observer. I was going to say if he lost that Observer, it may have changed the tide of the battle here because that'll allow him to burrow those Roaches and stay in this game here. But there are a lot of Stalkers out here, and Patience is actually in the lead as far as army supply goes, and that's never good as a Zerg player. And this is looking pretty bad. Hyun kind of trickling units here, but I think this is going to be game. Patience with this push is going to take game number 1 in this best of 3 series against Hyun for DreamHack. And yeah, he's just going to manage to burrow because he did take out that Observer, but it's a little bit too late with his +1 attack upgrade. And I think we've gotten only 1 attack upgrade there for our Zerg player. And there's the GG. Patience taking a nice victory here, but I was really surprised that Hyun didn't maybe go Hydras a little bit sooner. Sure, he made the Roaches. He kind of needed those, but those force fields are really good, and Patience played that really well. Maybe Hyun could have maybe sacrificed that base sooner, pulled the drones back, and kind of held position there on this low ground in this area here with his Roaches. Kind of forced him to come through a choke point, and then made Hydras after that point. But you really need more Hydras in that mix to deal with this, or you just need an overwhelming number of Roaches. And maybe Hyun droned too much, I'm not quite sure, but I thought this attack was fairly telegraphed, considering, you know, he picked off the first pylon, he picked off the probe, he had units there seeing the Zealot Warp in. I don't know. Anyways, Patience takes the first victory in this series, and we're going to head on into game number 2 coming up next.